conference for work. My daughter got back late last night, way late, later than expected. I think about 5 hours. Kind of took a little bit out of me, and the change of time wasn't exactly too kind either. But as you can probably see, my face looks wiped. So I want to go through a couple things today. I got a few things in the mail. I actually need to pick something up before we get started because I forgot. Let's get that together. Okay. Beautiful. All right, we got it. So a little update. The new Bright Kong figure. He is being worked on. He's down here. What the hell is he that you guys? There he is. He's right down there. And he's being worked on. One of his feet fixed perfectly. The other one, I'm not so sure. We'll see. It was a really bad break and a little tough to get some of that plastic together, even with support rods, other plastic and or metal. I still need new light bulbs, and it's getting there. Needs a little soldering work too, but I really want to get it just posable. So that's pretty much where we're at. Anyway, all right, so let's see what we have. So I got a couple things in the mail while I was away. The first thing I want to bring up, because I want to say thank you, is the Sigmund the Sea Monster figure. I'm not even sure who makes it, to be honest with you. I don't see any markings on it. Let me get the old specs on and see what we got going on there. We have, yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, this was sent in by a good friend, Bubba Dave Russell. So thank you, Bubba Dave. What is up there, Treehouse? John's checking in. Mr. Big Treehouse himself, the skateboard king of New York. So yeah, so this came in. I know Dave said he was going to send it to me a while ago, and I literally forgot. It showed up in the mail. I opened the package late last night, and I was like, holy shit. Yeah, it's a little bit flexible. It's not really posable, but the head's kind of rubbery dress here, if you will. And this was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. I don't know how many of you guys watch Sigmund the Sea Monster, but love that show. Love that show. Shell Vision. Oh, what's up, Harry? I thought that was Treehouse. All right, yeah, so that's, there we go. There's Sigmund Sea Monster, a great, great representation of that TV show I used to love as a kid. I used to come home from school every day and watch it. Oh, actually, his arms turn a little bit. I did not know that. I got a little bit of posability on here. Oh, the legs turn too. Okay. All right. There we go. Very nice. Thank you, Bubba Dave. That was an excellent gift. I appreciate it. I don't encourage people to send stuff to me. I'm not here looking for free stuff. But if you do, that's okay. That's okay. I remember that the kid from Family Affair was also... Yes, that's true. Yes, that's true, Harry. The kid from Family Affair. Wow, you're really talking about going back in time. Family Affair was from the 60s, if I remember. So it was, what was that kid's name? I don't remember. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I think there was the two kids. There was the little girl with the doll. Was it Buffy? No, Buffy's a vampire slayer. Then there was the older niece. There was the butler. I think his name was Mr. French. And the father who was, what's his name? Was it, oh God, what's his name? Brian? God, everything just slipped my mind right now. I don't remember. Your 62s, those shows were on. So they were on for me. We used to see Family Affair, but Family Affair used to come on at like, no joke, I remember being on like really early in the morning or late, or not late at night, but like in the evening. I'm trying to remember where. Brian Keith. Thank you, Harry. Thank you. Too many energy drinks, not enough sleep. It'll mess you up. But yeah, that was a great show, Family Affair. I don't remember what one episode was about. All I remember is a little girl always carrying her doll. Was it Mrs. Beasley? Was that the doll's name? The little girl with, I think she had ponytails. The kid that was on this show, the redheaded kid. I think it was Mr. French. Was it Mr. French, Harry? Wasn't that the name of the butler? Buffy. Oh, Buffy was carrying Mrs. Beasley. Okay. All right. I kind of remember, but I don't remember any episodes. All I remember was it was kind of drama, and I remember there was always some kind of sad thing they had to resolve, some family, thing of growing up in those ages and so on. I'm laughing my ass off on the couch. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad we can entertain you, Harry. That's fantastic. But yeah, so Mrs. Beasley. But again, thank you, Bubba Dave. Bubba Dave's a really good dude. We love Bubba Dave. He's fantastic. What else did we get? Okay, one of the other things I got. This guy actually came off Etsy, believe it or not. This is a Mort Alexander. You can see by the marking on the back, it says More Toys and then Mort Alexander. This is a rubber-armed version of Mighty Neil. He was also had a beard and was called Mighty Gary. He was also Soldato Mike, but in the Soldato Mike, instead of the rubber arms, he had plastic arms, really cheap versions of the AI arms and hands where they were kind of flat like this. And I have a whole bunch of them over there, but I don't know. I can't resist these guys. They're great figures. He's this kind of gold stripe on his pants. I'm not sure what his outfit is, and he has these boots. I'll have to see if I can dig up. I might have an outfit over there, and this may have not belonged to him, but this came in from the Netherlands, so I was kind of excited about that. It's got kind of that cheap belly button thing there, if you will, but a neat little figure, and these are a lot of fun. Okay, let's see what else came in. Oof. All right, well, this I'm going to go this way because it's never really been played with. This Humvee, however, and the sticker's starting to peel due to age. It's got the steering wheel, which is pretty much, and it's clean as shit, which is other than a little bit of dust, which is how you can kind of tell it's new. But the wheels are starting to kind of wiggle on the other side and coming off the little metal bar. It's fixable. I'll get it fixed, but I have a bunch of these. The last one I got in these was actually red. I've never seen a red one before. The yellow ones are the most common, and there's green ones. There's green ones that say Army. There's green ones that say Action Man. These particular Amphicats were built for any figure that was, 8-inch to 12-inch, although the scale of the toy is not quite that well, but they marketed towards Big Jim, any 8-inch Mego style, G.I. Joe, Mr. Action, anything like that they were putting them together. They were made by Irwin Toys, and they were blow mold vehicles. Actually quite cool. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. All right, so what else came in the mail? This is one of my favorites. The box isn't in the best condition, but the box is absolutely, it's the rarest of in this series. And I know if I get Dr. Durant on here, he's going to start some shit. But the reason they're rare, I'll explain in a moment. So this is the Steve Scout figure, and I should have brought you a box version. The normal version, it's closed. There's no window to it. That was the original box. And the original idea behind these figures is that the uniforms were actually scaled versions of the real Boy Scout uniform. Like it's even got the metal belt buckle, the insignia, all this stuff of the time. So they were approved and officially licensed by the Boy Scouts of America. Now you can see this box has faded a bit over time and so on. But the one thing that's different about these boxes, these were the newer versions. You say, well, how do you know that? Well, that's an excellent question. I'm glad you're with me. If you take a look, we've got this hang glider, which I have one in the back. I'll show you in a moment. We've got the Jeep pulling the boat. I don't have that right now, or the trailer. We also have on the back, we've got some of the other items here that are available. You'll see they also list the other box figures, but they also have this balloon over here and some tents and the tower, which I'll do a walkthrough a little bit later, show you if I have enough battery to do it. But you see these stars with this little book, this little picture here. Well, there's a booklet inside, and if you take a close look, you'll see a bunch of circles. What you were meant to do is cut off these little stars off the back. Each box had a different, I think, a different number of stars based on what you bought, and then you were to put them on this booklet, tape them, glue them, whatever, and then mail it in. And you could mail it in for mail-only exclusive figures. One of them is Bill Scout, who's basically Steve Scout with a summer uniform, shorts and a t-shirt. Sometimes his hair was a little bit lighter. The one that I bought that's in the box with the mailer box from someone, the hair is not quite as light as I've seen some of the pictures. They're very hard to find. In addition, some of the other things you could get, there was a special special tower that you could get. It was made up, I think you could almost put it together with some of the other sets by taking pieces out of it. I forget what it was called. It was like an observation tower. But then they also made this winter tent, and I've shown these on previous videos. You can go back and look through the videos on the channel and see them. But it's a silver tent with plastic poles that flex, and then it makes this winterized shelter. It's a shelter for winter, or a tent. And these were mail order only items, and you couldn't pay for them. You literally had to cut off enough stars, put it on the booklet, put it in an envelope, put all your address, get your mom, get your stamp, get your mom to mail it out, and then wait for it to come. And they usually came in a mailer box. I have all 3 sets and the figures sealed in the boxes. I never thought I'd be able to acquire them, but you know, like everything else you find in this hobby, you say, I'll never find it. If you look hard enough and you keep staying persistent, you will. Great art, or I should say box. Yeah, it's a nice box design on these. These were great. The Windows boxes were the later versions. And these figures, I forget how many years they lasted. They weren't that long, if I remember correctly. So that being said, these are the rare of the boxes and they're harder to find. The older sets, interestingly enough, there are a ton of these figures that are in the old closed boxes that haven't even been opened. So I'm guessing at some point they made a bunch. They didn't wind up selling off all the ones in the closed boxes. They decided maybe to go with a new box design, and the old ones just sat in old stock somewhere, and eventually people start picking them up and collect them. So yeah, the box is a little bit messed up. It's a little bit faded, but honestly, just to have the Windows box for me was a big deal. I haven't opened it, but the figure is in there. He's mint. Matter of fact, he's very mint. You know what? Let's open it. Why not? Johnny Shedrick has heart attack. Film at 11. So this is what the color of the box should be. It's this olive drab green, and you can see how much it's faded on here, or what it should have. Yeah, there's an old piece of tape just came out. All right, so let's take it out on the sleeve and see what we have, because I'll show you guys. Okay, so here he is in the sleeve. Everything, including the scarf, everything is a scaled down version, like I said, of an original. What's up, Buck? Of an original Boy Scout uniform from back in the day. So I don't know if this guy's ever been touched other than by fracture with human hands, but there's a couple features about this you guys might want to know. Okay, so this is interesting. It still has the plastic made in Hong Kong tag on his wrist. I'm yet to see one that does this. I'm not going to do it with this figure because I don't want to disrupt them any more than I have already. But let me show you the book that it comes with. Basically, they had these little kind of comic books inside, and it tells you on the back to save all your stars and fill them out so you can turn them in for prizes. Depending on what set you got, what figure, and so on. If you bought a figure, you would get this comic about what is Boy Scout. It's pretty much an advertisement for joining Boy Scouts. Why Boy Scouts is great. What does it mean? What does the salute mean? All these different things. And then when you got to the back, and you can see how yellow it is, because remember back in the day, paper then had acid in it, which is why it yellowed. Talk about different scout sets. The actual sets that you buy, they're adventure sets, if you will, or vehicles or so on. Each comic book would have a little story of what you could do with the set and why the set was there. I mean, this one, they've got Boy Scouts swimming with sharks. I guarantee you there was not a Boy Scout troop on the planet that was allowed to swim with sharks back in the day. But let me see if I can show you. Okay, here are the 3 things you could mail away for, and each one was worth a different amount of points. There was this high weather shelter, which is silver. There was this other kind of tower, if you will. It's similar to some of the sets that they have. And then there was this guy, which is, this is Bill Scout. How many stars? So Bill Scout was 25 stars. The tower was 20. And the shelter was only 15. And the shelter's probably the hardest one to get. Not to brag or anything, but I was fortunate enough to find both of these sealed and him in the original box. Somebody had opened the box, but he was original. So I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, if you take a look at his belt, you can actually see it's the brass belt buckle. And if you were a Boy Scout, you would know that that's what it looked like. Timeout, that's not true. I have that merit badge. It's called the Hammerhead. You are kidding me. Are you serious, Harry? They let them swim with sharks? Holy fuck, okay. I stand corrected. Wow, that is crazy. I did not know that. Oh, you bastard. Harry, you son of a bitch. That's it. The next time you do a video. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so no, I was sitting there, wow, that's pretty crazy. I mean, to be honest with you, scouting has clearly changed. I don't want to get into the politics of it. And, now girls can be, okay, great, because I put my daughter in Girl Scouts, and Girl Scouts was nothing like Boy Scouts. I was a scout when I was younger, 7th grade, 8th grade, and we had a lot of fun. The camping trips were great. We had a lot of fun with our friends. Yeah, this glass is going to need to be reattached a little bit because I can see it's pulling apart. We had a lot of fun with our friends going out and camping and hiking. You play capture the flag. We build monkey bridges, all that shit. Things like that. You got a great channel, dude, and a hell of a... Oh, thank you, Harry. sometimes I wonder, is it a collection or is it just hoarding at this point? It's it's pretty bad. I mean, so I'll let you guys in on something. I started collecting in 1997, and this story has been told more than once. But to be very honest, I went to what the hell happened? Oh, I was with my buddy who's in this group, in our MegoLike group on Facebook, but he never posts anything like that. Anyway, long story short, he says, let's go to this, and I just met him. His wife was best friends with my daughter's mother when we were married. And I was in my 20s, I think. And he says, hey, do you want to go to the show with us? And my wife at the time was like, yeah, let's go to the show. And I'm like, okay, what is it? Because you get to meet Batman and Robin. I'm like, Batman and Robin? So it was Burt Ward. It was Frank Gorshin was there. Adam West. Julie Newmar was there. I think that was it. So I went with them, and we met them, and he got some autographs. I wasn't doing any autographs, but Julie Newmar was an absolute saint. She talked to everybody, really nice lady. Frank Gorshin, on the other hand, I think he's dead now, but he wasn't very nice. We walked into the bar just to get a drink or something in the day, because it was just something where you had to go to get a drink, and he was not a nice guy. Definitely not nice, and he wasn't happy to see people, and I was like, whatever. But anyway, long story short, we'll put this aside for now. Anyway, so I walked by, and somebody had a couple tables were selling stuff, and I saw some Planet of the Apes figures, Mego Planet of the Apes figures from the 70s. Now, I never knew what the word Mego was for a long time until I started collecting. I remember having Mego figures. I had Batman and Joker and Robin. I had some of the Wild West figures. I could still remember being 5, going to the toy store and picking up my Wild Bill Hickok figure in the closed box, not the Windows box, the Wild West figure, tearing it open. We walked out of the store to the little silver mics. God, the building's still there. The toy store's been going for ages, but tearing it out and losing like the pistols on the ground. And I was 5. I didn't know. Anyway. So I saw them, like, oh, these are cool. I'm like, oh, what's this, a garage sale? I'm like, all right. So I said, they're kind of neat. And the guy said, how much you want for those? What do you want, like a couple bucks? He's like, couple bucks? He's like, they're $110 a piece. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, they're collectible. Collectible. And that launched me to going out into the internet and start looking. Now, this was back in 1997. And I found some Mego-related groups and got involved with them and so on. And I put up a website, MyMegoLike.com, not the one that's running today, a prior version that was really fun and built on years of collectors sending pictures in. Anyway, all that stuff exploded. The point is that it took me, a long time to understand what Mego was, but I started collecting in 97. And I think in 2007, because I'd been in this house, there was a flood in this basement. There were no sump pumps, and there's about 7 inches of water. And I had all these toys in here. And they were in these IKEA cabinets, or wood on the bottom and glass all around. Anyway, I said, fuck this. I sold everything. Then in 2018, my buddy reached out to me, the same guy. Frankie's like, hey, man, they got Megos at Target. I'm like, what is he talking about? Just kind of joking. Oh, Anthony McElveen. Hey, Ab Mac, what's going on? Sorry, guys, if you're coming in, I didn't see it. I apologize. You got kicked out of Scouts for eating brownies. Oh, my God, Buck, you're fucking crazy. There are 2 Boy Scout camps at my hometown, Camp Edge and Camp Roosevelt. Oh, no shit. Okay. I gotta keep up with this stuff. He Buck, the good one. All right, so anyway, long and the short is I sold everything. In 2018, when Mego restarted, oh, this is cool. Company's coming back. They are not the original company. They're nowhere near it, and I don't have many kind words to say about them anymore. But I started collecting again. So everything you see in here, other than a few pieces, other than the Galoob Micro Machine Star Wars, the Big Bill figure I have, I have 2 Remco McDonaldland sets, but the first one that I have in the box, and a couple of the pieces, everything else in this basement that you see when I tour now, was basically from 2019 on. I mean, 6 years now, but probably I accumulated the majority of the shit over the course of 2 or 3 years. That's a lot of shit. And a lot of it came from eBay. Not much from Marketplace. I found some more. And the basement has just grown. I mean, not the basement has grown, the space. The collection has grown, but the space has gotten way smaller. So anyway, that's kind of that. But yeah, so the collection got restarted about 6 years ago. So it's, that's why I said, is it hoarding? Because it's just like tons of shit. All these signs. It was definitely a different setup. There were glass cabinets, and it was like a museum when you walked down here. Now I'm like, fuck that. And put the stuff on regular shelves. I don't need to go spend $100 for a shelf at IKEA. I can get more stuff out of a plastic shelf from Home Depot, which were $19, and they're now, same shelves are going for almost 40 at Home Depot. It's pretty crazy over the course of a few years. All right, anyway, let me show you what else I got. Oh, look who's here. Brian Sanchez, the Sancharoni, the Sancha Mahini, the Sancharuski, the Sancharonsky, the king of the salamis in Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, is Brian Sanchez. All right, I'm going to show you guys a couple other things I thought were pretty cool. I have one other thing I got in the mail. I'll show you in a second. I'm going to try something with it, but I went to this place in Brick called the Toy and Comic Spot. Small shop, lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Very nice people. I have filmed from there. You guys can go look at some videos. I've done some videos in the store that I've asked them permission. They were very kind to let me do that. Sanchez, how's the dust storm? Oh yeah, there we go. I started collecting customs. I'm reading these comments, trying to keep up as I go. So I went in there today, and I don't like leaving there empty-handed. So minimum, I'm going to buy Amanda a pack of Pokemon because they still have some. But long story short, before I show you what I got, I received this figure from, used to be a friend of mine. This is War Duke from the Dungeons and Dragons line in 1983. I wasn't collecting them, but he sent the figure because I was a kid that loved Dungeons and Dragons, but I didn't really play it. What I wanted to do was just painting the metal miniatures, buying the books, and reading them, and that was it. But today I went and I found this, and I don't know if I overpaid for it or not, but I'm going to tell you I love it. So it does have War Duke. He's missing his shield and sword, but as you see, I already have one with that. And I think this is called like the Hell Horse or something. But what's kind of funny with these figures is, I mean, his head does turn. That's about it. His head turns. The figure completely goes inside, and what they do on the saddle is they molded and painted legs. So he's kind of like, I said to somebody earlier, he's like from Shrek with the prince, the short guy. When he gets on the horse and he has the long legs, they're fake. Well, that's basically what you have here. I mean, it's a pretty cool horse. Saddle's got these skulls on it, and I haven't really started collecting these, but I love the look of this thing. I thought it was pretty cool, so I was like, fuck it, let's get that. Go home with that today, and off we go. So that's up on the shelf. So I might be indulging in some of those. Those figures are getting a little expensive. I looked at a few. There's some that are inexpensive, but these figures as a whole, these 83 Dungeons and Dragons figures, which makes them 42 years old right now, which is, to me, unbelievable. I'm thinking they're 20. They're 40-something years old. That's a long way back. All right, so I had bought these round 2 Captain Action figures. One of the sets I had gotten 2 because I bought a set and I bought a lot of them, and there was an extra Iron Man set. So I said, let me take it out, let me put it on a Captain Action. Well, I haven't found a cheap plain Captain Action. It doesn't fit the plain Mantis Captain Action. If you remember, there was the original Captain Action from Ideal, which is the one that goes through the roof. Matter of fact, if you were to go on eBay today, they call it Dr. Evil's headquarters. I don't think it's that. It almost looks like a volcano, and it's got Spider-Man, Captain America, and Captain Action printed on it, and it looks like kind of like it's a cave that opens up. It's a playset. The guy wants $3,600 for it. It's insane, but whatever. Not doing that. Not doing that. But I thought it was cool. So anyway, so I had this extra set, so I said, let's see if we can get him on a Captain Action body. So I traded for a Captain Action body from someone, but it's a plain Mantis. It doesn't fit. At least I couldn't get it to fit. So I thought I would try and get this under a round 2 figure. So I said, well, fuck it. He's going to be covered anyway. The Dr. Evil figures go for like, I can get them for like $12 in some cases. So I have 2 of these. So we're going to open one up and see if we can get this onto this figure. Now, somebody told me you have to pull the hands off in order to do it. So this is how the round 2 figures came. As opposed to the plain Mantis figures came in those really nice boxes with the little door that's Velcroed for the window box below it. Or you got the window box set with no figures in it. So this Dr. Evil, he happens to come with his mask and his emblem and his pistol. And there's a comic book in these, supposedly. So I'm kind of excited to open this up so we can see where it is. I mean, I think these are about 10 years old now. Yeah, it looks like the comic book is going to be hidden. Yep, it's in here. So we're going to open this up Don't scream. It's an extra. And nobody's going to want it once it's done, so let's just pop this open and see if we can't get this on. Because I would love to put a Captain Action Iron Man into the Hall of Heroes upstairs. If you haven't seen the Hall of Heroes, it's also known as the Closet of Chaos. It's about a 10 by 12 room. Just a bunch of superhero stuff. DC and Marvel. It's supposed to be a very minimalist type room, and it's just grown as something ridiculous, including a full mannequin with a cosplay Deadpool outfit in there that we paid $400 for an event we did. So here's the comic it comes with. I haven't looked at this. Can't imagine it's that amazing, but Dr. Evil with Captain Action, and there he is on the back. All right. The box, which we're going to, oh, look at this. Look what else you get. Must be a card for the Captain Action Club, I'm guessing. There you go, join the club. Now, my understanding is the guys who, and this is too old now because they're out of business, if you will, but my understanding is that the guys who did Playing Mantis, one of the guys went on to do round 2, maybe both, and to restart the Captain Action line. What's cool about the round 2 set is everything is pretty much Marvel. They've got, I think, 2 versions or 3 versions of Thor, Loki, Iron Man. They've got 3 versions of Captain America with all the different shields. They have at least 1 Spider-Man version, maybe 2, I'm trying to remember, which is pretty cool. Let's see if we can get this. Let's see if we can get this Dr. Evil in here. And if you haven't seen these Doctor, we're gonna see. I don't know if his head's gonna fit because he's got this removable brain, which is pretty cool with this set. Again, if you guys haven't seen it, there's a set with Dr. Evil where it comes with different brains. Yes, different brains. And so this brain in the top pops out. And then you have this other version. There's this like green, I don't know, brain, and there's this blue like digital computer brain, whatever. And so the brain sits inside there. Now, what I want to do is see if I can get this Iron Man outfit onto him. This break brought to you by Brian Sanchez and the Sausage and Brian Sanchez Sausages. That's right, pickled sausages for all your occasions. That's right, bar mitzvahs, birthday parties, bachelor parties, weddings, and so on. All right, so we're going to take this apart if you've never seen one. I love helmet, and then you have the mask, if you will. It's got this plastic dummy underneath. Now, this came out of a box set, and this should split back and front. And so what I came to learn is that if you try and stretch this suit over a regular Captain Action from Playing Mantis, it starts to kind of come apart. So yeah, we don't want to do that if we don't have to. If you guys didn't check out the video by Johnny Shedrick on MIB Master Toy Museum earlier, just a little while ago, he went to Big Fun in Columbus, Ohio, which is a pretty popular store, if you will, for collectors, and basically has a little of everything. All right, so we're going to see if we can get this in here. I got to be honest with you. I guess it's going to fit, but this is how the body of the new round 2 figures look like. Don't get too excited, Brian Sanchez. He's blue. But the twisting torso, if you will, the heads are pretty cool. I'm not sure how they are held together. It looks like it looks like it's a bandless body, if you will. Got some feet. We'll see if we can get him this Iron Man costume. I don't know if his head's gonna go. I probably should have tested that before I started doing this. This show is brought to you by Louis Wonka and the Pickled Sausage Factory. That's true. This is true. I am Lou Malagrana, and I do approve that message by Brian Sanchez. So what have you guys been collecting lately? Is anybody, while I'm trying to get this ready, let's buy some time. Anybody pick up anything great lately? Has anybody visit any cool comic shops, any cool stores? Like I said, Johnny Shedrick just did a great one at Big Fun. I think that was his first time going. I've never been there, to be honest with you. Used to be the talk of the town when they actually had real Mego meat, but I never made it then. I think you're supposed to pull these hands off, if I'm correct. Yeah, these hands are supposed to come off, and I'm not. There we go. Pop the hand. That's so you can get these gloves on, because the hands don't go inside, and then pop the hand. A little ball joint in there. Brian Sanchez's favorite. A little ball joint. Just kidding, Sanchez. You know I'm joking. So Brian bought some. Brian, tell him what you got at the show. You got a really cool. When you went to that, was it the Chicago Toy Show? Where did you go to get that G.I. Joe set? He got a really cool vintage set. Is that where you got it from, the show, or did you order online? You got a great G.I. Joe set. That is not easy to find, and it's in excellent shape. In addition to the figure, yeah, you see it's already stretching. I can already see it starting to pull, be painted on. The paint on the fabric, you can see it's starting to pull it apart. Well, hopefully it'll stay in the back. Looks like it's already coming apart. You have to remember, these are also like 13 years old, so that shit is not really meant to last. We know that. As Buck would say, put it in water. Heat that fucker. All right, Buck, we'll see how this goes when it gets on. All right, not too bad. You can see it's starting to pull a little bit. Some of the white, that's painted fabric. That's why that shit comes across like that or pulls apart like that. Which, I don't know why anybody would just paint it. Just make it in the right color and be done with it. All right, hands are off. We've got him to here. See if we can get his boots on. See, I got a ROM from GameStop. Oh, Buck, is that the new ROM? The little one? I'm assuming? Because I don't think they sell vintage stuff. That's what was that, like 5 inches or something, if I remember? I got Mike Power, the Fangs of the Cobra off eBay, and the Ready Gang in the packaging. Oh, you got that along with the Ready Gang in it. Okay. That's cool. That's what I like. Brian Sanchez, all about the Ready Gang. Brian, do you have some of the horses from that Ready Gang? I know you have multiples now. The Buffalo Bill. Oh, the Buffalo Bill. It was not like $10. You don't have to say what you paid for it, but I could have sworn you said it was something like $10 for that Buffalo Bill, a Mego Buffalo Bill figure in the original solid box. No, yes, no. Okay, so no from Sanchez, yes from Buck or Darth Silicone, and that it's new. Now, well, actually, this probably doesn't matter too much because we're popping this shit on anyway. So we can get this on without much of a hitch. Okay, that's not bad. It's a shame it pulls apart, but you could always get paint fabric if you really wanted to be a stickler, which I will not. Okay, so far so good. Although Dr. Evil's not really would be my first choice for doing it. Oh, but then again, we've got this belt that's going to go across. So this would be, if I'm correct, this would be the classic Iron Man style suit, which would be basically kind of the one that Mego made back in the day, if I'm correct. And I like the round 2 stuff, probably because it's Marvel. These belts are going to be, the one thing I don't like about these rubber belts is trying to get these together. They are a pain in the ass because they're rubber, and you've got to start it through, and then you got to push it, get it on the other side, and grab it. So, all right, so we're going to do that in a minute. Let's see if we can get his helmet on him with this crazy head. It might work, believe it or not. It might. Let's see if we can do this with his brain on, with his brain in. Dr. Evil, talk to us about your brain. I think we just lost it. There it is. That wasn't good. Okay. Let's get his brain back in, Dr. Evil. Let's see if we can get if we put his brain in, can we get it to work? This is really an experiment in patience, I would tell you. Okay, he's got those pointy ears like Spock. So I might have to take the brain out, maybe not. Gonna find out in a minute. Tell me everything goes on but the mask and I'm gonna be pissed because obviously that's like the coolest part, right? Oh no, he's in. Okay, all I have to do is get his belt on and then he's going up in the Hall of Heroes. Message retracted? The hell are you posting shit on here and then pulling it back? What are you doing, Brian Sanchez? What are you doing? I might need the specs to get this to go there. Actually, did that just work? Oh, I think it just worked. Wow, I think I got it. After 10 times, I think I finally got it. All right, so the costume hides, got a little bit of a loose knee, but it hides a good portion of the a good portion of the paint being pulled off the fabric. And these just kind of go on here. So let's see how he looks. I think he looks okay. Very thin. He's a very tall Iron Man. The suit, like I feel like his legs should only be like maybe to here, but he's up there. He does have the little things on his hands, if you will. I got the Buffalo Bill for $10 in the box, but missing the hat. Jesus Christ. Fucking hat you can find on eBay. It's going to cost you more for the hat than it's going to cost you for the hat, I can tell you that. All right, so there we have it. So that's not bad. So even though there's a Dr. Evil in there, you wouldn't know. So he's going to go into the Hall of Heroes. Be pretty bad. Oh, I think his mask is coming out. Be pretty badass if I could get, oh, because it's not underneath. If I could get him hanging from the ceiling, which I should be able to do. I think we're gonna have to take out Dr. I'm gonna have to take out Dr. Evil's brain to get this on here properly, but nope, there we go. There he is, your favorite superhero, or mine, Iron Man, if you will. Very good figure. We'll get him upstairs as well. Let's see. Repulsor rays. Thank you, Buck. I told you I didn't really watch. I mean, I didn't really read comic books too much as a kid, other than horror comic books, just a few, because that's all that was available to us back in the day. But that's what we have for today. So that was fun. That was fun. I hope you guys all got to enjoy watching me undress Dr. Evil. You know, that's actually, I'm going to say this, the quality of these clothes, I've never looked at them in depth before. 2012, Captain Action Enterprises 2012 round 2, made in China 100%. It's polyester. It's basically, it's a fucking leisure suit. But it's actually, it's quite good. Even the quality of the hands are pretty good. They're a little flexible on these. Boots are rubber. And pants. There you go. And there you have it. With our model body. And this that went inside. It's actually sat inside the uniform to help give it some shape, I guess. Anything else? Heat the damn head, then put on. No, it's good. It's good. I got it. I got it. I actually could take out the brain, to be honest with you. That would have worked as well, too. But it's good. It's good. He's a little kind of loose knee. Don't really love that. I hate when new action figures have loose joints like that. It makes me bananas like, oh, and this just came out. Like, where's the quality control? Where is the quality control? And this paint is going to peel off this fabric. It's getting stretched and it doesn't like it. That's a bad design. Painting fabric that has to, you know, especially when it's empty and you know it's going to go onto an action figure. Yeah, it might work when you first get it when it's brand new, but I don't really think it's going to last. It never really does it? Are we in there? It's in there. Oh, there we go. Actually, I think I had it on the wrong way. Yeah, I did. There you go. Now we got it right. It's got the little buckle there for it. So we're going to move him upstairs. He's going to go to the Hall of Heroes. Maybe if we pick up a couple more of these, we'll be able to get the rest of the crew up there. Spider-Man, Captain America, and so on. But we got to get some kind of good pose for this guy. And he might be, it may be that he's up in the air in the ceiling, you know, doing some shit. We might do that. That's pretty cool. All right. So what else do we have? I think that's all we have for now. Actually, that's all I have to show you guys for now. I'm going to go back to working on my gorilla over there. He needs to be worked on a little bit. And he does stand now, though. So the 1 foot is very good. The other one, so you guys, I took video before, but there was a tremendous amount of space in the feet. Although this one, yeah, there's a tremendous amount of, and it would always go forward or backwards. I think, yeah, now he'll stand up. So I gave him, this foot is, the brake on this foot was such a difficult, I took it all apart. And he needs more, the light bulbs have to be changed. So I'm going to wind up getting new ones, I think, for that. And right now, I accidentally unsoldered the wire for the switch in the back. So that's not going, but he does work off the first button. For the most part, yeah. The hard part with this is not opening and getting them to work. The hard part is there's tension springs inside that get this mouth to move and these arms, and the tension springs just kind of wore out. And I'm like, do I want to go look for more tension springs, or just say fuck it and put it on the shelf because I'm never gonna really use it. So that's basically what I'm dealing with. So I'm just gonna put it on the shelf. I like to take old shit like this and make it work again. It's fun for me. I enjoy it. It's a great way to relax. But the reality is, I don't really do that. And he's gonna go, we've got Big Rex over there. It was made by the same company, New Bright, if you've never seen them before. Very fragile type plastic, if you will, for the toys. And yeah, that's that. We're gonna snap that in. I think he has a screw that can go in there. But yeah, there he is. There's our Kong figure with stuff done. You brace, yeah, I did brace the brake, Buck. The problem is the plastic inside is kind of like, it's almost like styrene, if you will, that very fragile plastic. So it's been braced. There's a metal rod in there and so on both sides. One is a plastic, the other one was a metal, but even so, it didn't want to grab too much. So anyway, we don't want them to walk. We're just going to put them on the shelf and make them happy. Kong's going to go over there. We've got Godzilla. I'll have Kong, and off we go. Anyway, that's it for oh, actually, I told you guys I was going to show you a couple things. Let's go take a look at the Scout shit, shall we? All right. I'll give you guys a couple of things to look at here. So this is the Scout Tower. This was not a mail away. There was two versions of this tower. I should put some light on if I'm going to have enough battery to last. But there was two versions of this tower. It's about 3 feet tall. This one is courtesy of Brian Sanchez, and I believe the Chicago Toy Show. Brian actually picked this up for me. The box is laying flat on top over there, but he got this for me. Not only did he get it for me, he knocked the guy down in price quite a bit. He knocked him down quite a bit he did. So thank you very much, Brian Sanchez. But you can see there's a tent in there. This thing actually signals. These again were all made to be real Boy Scouts. Even the Cub Scouts have the real uniforms. There was, what the hell are these two doing over here? I don't know, some fucked up shit. But so we got Steve Scout, Bob Scout, Craig Scout, and Dave Scout. All right, and those are Cubs. Over there, if you take a look, this is the glider that Steve Scout would come. It's basically a kite, and yes, it will fly. Problem is, your figure, unless you want to strap him in with this plastic, these wheels don't turn. They just look like they do. And he will fly, he'll fall out, and then the thing will fall and you'll break, and that'll be the end of it. But let's take a look at some of these pieces. Well, let's see. This is, sorry, while we're doing this, this is actually the German version of Steve Scout, the Italian version of Steve Scout. They're not Scouts. This is actually a $6 Million Man ripoff. But all the sets in here, all the sets that you see are the same equipment that went with Steve Scout. Matter of fact, some of them I opened up and they have the Boy Scout logo on them. These are the gliders. I have a couple of those. Where's my, oh, here we go. Let's see if I can find this. So here is the unopened mail away of the tower set. As you can see, it hasn't been opened. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think you could probably get most of these pieces and fake it out. But it tells you how to put it together. All right, that is an unopened version of a mail away. This is the tent. Actually, here it is. Here's the tent. High Adventure, you had to send 15 stars. Oh, maybe this was open. No, it came in a bag. Tells you how to put the tent together, and you can see that silver. It's cool. It's a really neat tent when you put it together. But again, extremely hard to find. And this is actually the Bill Scout. As you can see, it's kind of bright. This one's actually got the mailer on it. Went to a guy in, looks like Wisconsin, if you will, to Thomas Charlier. And inside is the Steve Scout figure, or the Bill Scout figure in his summer outfit. So these are some really, really cool pieces. These are the only mail-aways that they offer, these three. I was able to get them by the grace of God, thank you, and other collectors helping, but a lot of look around. Here's a regular Steve Scout, Bob Scout box, closed box. This is the first one. You can see, just shows the poses, shows some of the sets, but you won't find the balloon set, you won't find the glider, because these original sets were basically what Boy Scouts could do. I don't think all of them drove, but these are basically what they could do and what they were capable of doing. And then what happened is they said, hey, let's make some cool sets. So let's get the balloon race, which is a great set, the glider, and a whole bunch of other ones that are out there. Okay. There you go, Buck. Professor Lou and the land shark are still in there. All right. That's that. And I think that's kind of where we're at. We got so much stuff we can talk about, so many different videos to do, so many different toys to go through and stuff like that. And I'll just have to do them over time. But these were all from my original collection because I was buying these. I was going to KB Toys and buying these as soon as they came out. I bought them all when they came out at the time. And then, I mean, even the bigger sets there, which were pretty cool. And I don't know why I'm going into this, but this is pretty cool. So this one actually has remote control, so it walks. There's some really cool, there's some behind, they're all behind there too. There's just ones back there. Like every single set's there. This is one of my favorites, the Rancor. But I love these when they came out. I really did. I love these when they came out. A lot of cool stuff. All right, that's it for today. Let's close up shop. Say goodnight. We're going to shut down the Toy Room of Solitude live feed, clean some shit up, get Iron Man up to the Hall of Heroes, or maybe we should take a walk up there. Should we take a walk up there? Fuck it. Let's take a walk up there. Why don't we? Come on. Let's go take a walk, and then we'll come down and we'll close up shop. Let's do that. All right. It's been a very, 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 very long week. All right, let's go upstairs. Let's check it out. I'm gonna brain my daughter again. Leaves the lights on. All right. Let's go in. Ooh, that door hasn't been open in a while. Can't really see. Oh, and shit is falling down. All right. Spider-Man bag on the floor. Not sure we picked that up, but we did. All right, here is our Hall of Heroes. If you've never seen it, all kinds of shit in here. There's my Deadpool costume from our movie event. Some of these things are just odds and ends picked up anywhere from Dollar Tree, comic shops, toy shows, eBay, Burlington. Brian Sanchez, there's the train. Brian so graciously sent me a train car. That's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Shazam. We got some of the Marvel Coca-Cola cans. And these aren't any particular special comic books on the shelves. They just happen to be ones that I liked. Some of the popcorn buckets. By the way, if you haven't seen Thunderbirds yet, it's a really good movie. But this is a little bit more of it's kind of the Captain America section. You got all kinds of Captain America crap, if you will, including little tiny Captain Americas. This is more of the Iron Man section, although there's a Captain America flag there. We got all kinds of neat shit going on here. My favorite helmet. Demo. Jarvis. Start system. Open mask. Jarvis. Close mask. Combat mode. Jarvis. Combat mode. Okay, let's try it again. Jarvis. Combat mode. I didn't like that. I think the battery's dying because that's blinking. Anyway, shutdown system. So that's one of my favorites. But you can see I've got a few things, a few Iron Man, some old Hulk models, some of the Hasbro masks. This one actually came from the Ukraine for Venom. That's a 3D printed and by a professional cosplay shop, believe it or not. And then some more popcorn buckets. There's the Batman bat signal. There's the one thing that I had as a kid that I had to get, which is the Super Vader by Mego. I don't know why. It's the dumbest goddamn toy they ever made, but had to get it. And then we've got all the famous covers, every single one. The DC Heroes, I wound up getting 2 of these loose, which is kind of cool. This was the foil Superman comic on Free Comic Book Day that you paid $10 for. This was a recent acquisition. It was Batman versus Kong. And thank you, Terry Jackson, for showing us that the Superman versus Godzilla set is coming. I'm so excited to hear that. These are the giant 18-inch, I think they are, Migos by FTC. They're the worst quality ever. They are so hollow. They're like made of eggshells. They're cool to look at, but don't bother touching them. It's a waste. And then there's just various, I don't even know where I got some of this stuff. These are probably some things I picked up on eBay or whatever. Some of these toys, these I wound up picking up. There goes the thing. These I picked up at a Goodwill, believe it or not. And there's just all kinds of various shit in here, stuff and things I picked up. This is the popcorn bucket from the Falcon. You turn upside down, popcorn bucket flips and so on, and just all kinds of crazy shit. New stuff, old stuff, Corgi Batmobile, just all random shit. Here's Lily Leedies that are down in here. Our good friend Roberto, God rest his soul, hated them. Captain America bubblegum machine. This one's really cool. This is Jada Toys Batmobile, but it lights up. It's really cool. I love it. Lights go on. It's really fucking cool. And some Legos and some Pez and all that shit. But anyway, so that's where we're at with that. Oh, this I picked up at the same shop. I just got the things from today. This cool Fantastic Four little, I don't know, it's like a little play set. It's not really an action figure, but it's plastic. And there we go, Iron Man and so on. So we're going to find a place for this guy in here. And there you go, Spider-Man, even superheroes must clean. This room, really nobody comes in. Of course, I have some wonderful pictures that my beautiful autistic daughter Amanda colored for me, superhero stuff. So those get priority over everything. This is all, I asked her to color this for my birthday. It's all I wanted. That's all I wanted, and she did it, thank God, or I would have to brain her. No, I'm just kidding. But so excited. So yeah, there's a lot of pieces in here, a lot of cool stuff, some fun stuff, and so on. But yeah, so we're going to end it on that because we are running out of battery. It's getting late. I got shit I got to do. But thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate it. You brace, oh, sorry, that awesome playset and figures. Which playset, Buck, were you talking about? I'm not sure which one you meant, but can this stay up here without falling? Guess we'll see. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please feel free to comment, post questions. And if there's anything you want to like or subscribe to, feel free to do. Otherwise, have a great evening. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.